but uh, it's a gasoline car. And I think electric in Dallas, Texas, which supposedly is, are seeing several things happen. The coronavirus, of course, is basically cutting the supply chain in China down to size. I don't think it's gonna. I have a feeling that back into China like they were before. I think we're going to see the supply chain disruption, and then I think we're going to see relocation of the supply chain out of China. So I think that's going to be a trend. I also think the electric vehicles are absolutely the trend of the future, and that we're going to see, we're going to see a very very period here when I guess I can't do that. It's going to appear backwards on the screen, unfortunately, here. But do you think bond prices can still go higher? I don't think they're going to go higher. Well, the rates are falling. I don't know. It's really a good question. The existing bonds, obviously, as you know, when rates fall with bonds, when rates fall with bonds, I'm actually coming over here on the screen. When rates fall with bonds, you have a situation where their values go up, and that's something definitely to watch. I don't think they can go lower, but again, I didn't think we would be in a market correction like this after we had such stellar numbers on employment. The employment numbers were great in the U.S. So there's just a lot of panic going on right now, and always in the panic modes, that's sometimes where your best deals are. I may have been a little bit too early coming in to the market and buying Tesla, but I do believe that it is going to prove in the long run, which in these days is about 30. Unfortunately, we are not in a follow-through day. I wish we were. We almost had one out of Wednesday into Thursday, but because the market took down, we're kind of starting the clock all over. I don't think we're going to be in a follow-through day probably for a while. It's probably not a good time to put new money in the market. If you have it on the sidelines, it's probably best to be in as much cash as you can right now, because I think that I have about 40% of all of my holdings right now in cash, and I'm obviously waiting for an opportune moment. But again, I went in on Tesla. We'll see if that makes any sense. I could have cheesed it on that. So you never know. Let me see. Let me go back here. Yep, there we go. All right. You think bond has? Oh, companies are looking for. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I was just in Thailand this summer, and I can tell you that that is a place that there is going to be a lot of that is a place that you're going to see a lot of stuff. And you really are. A lot of the production is going to be moving out of China. It's going to move to Thailand in the Bangkok area. I was also in a place called Chonburi, which is booming. I will just say it. I think Indonesia potentially is going to see a tremendous amount of production move there. Even places like Myanmar, which old Burma, they're producing. So it's a lot of production is going to move out of China. It's going to be tough on a lot of Chinese companies, to be honest. It's going to be very difficult on them. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Let's see. Now let's see if I can put something up here. I've got to go get an extension so you can see the chart that I'm talking about. There we go. Flip it. I found this extension on Chrome. Oops. Well, I guess not. Anyways, I was going to try to show you the chart. try to show you the chart. Best way I think is going to be to reverse this, and I just show you the chart on Tesla right now, and show you that. So let me change the view here. This is for the TikTok people only. This is basically for the TikTok people only. But let me kind of give you a look here. Let's see on the Tesla chart. There we go. Now, I'm particularly interested in this chart because I think it shows some things that might be of interest. Oops. If I can get it right. There we go. Post this way. Okay. Thank you. See on the chart here, we've had a situation where Tesla was going up, and then this is when it started to adjust. It went down to the 50-day moving average line. I think that this is where that's going to bounce. Price of, let's see if I get it right. Yeah, we're looking at a price of about 660, 650 on the price of Tesla, and I think that that's a potential. That's a potential point where we're going to see some bounce. Hopefully, we'll see it before then. I'm hoping, but I am confident that there we go. I'm back. I think we're going to see some bounce there, and because of that, I think that you might want to keep your powder dry because there might be a sale on Tesla. If Tesla gets below, I believe 660, it's a screaming buy. Right now, it's trading at 688.52. It's down almost 5%. For you know what? Here's the thing. Gooch. Thanks for coming in on that. I had 200 Microsoft this morning, and I have none now because I was stopped out. You might want to wait. Let me just take a look. But I think it's an awesome company, and I will just tell you that. I think that we're in a market correction, and believe me, there are opportunities when the market corrects like that. I also think I don't think you're gonna be sad if you buy Tesla either. I just don't. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, Microsoft right now is down $6 a share. It is going to go. It's outperforming. It's in the top 8% of the market. It's at 159.61 right now, trading at 151.61 right now. And again, it is a class company. It has earnings. What's going to be a problem in this ongoing thing with the coronavirus is that a lot of companies are going to have very little earnings, and it's going to be very tough for them in this upcoming environment. That is not the case with Microsoft, and I don't think that's the case with Tesla either. Tesla has a completely full order book for about a year, which is in the automobile industry. There's nobody else that has that. Now, companies like Ford and GM are, man, they're going to be hammered even more, I'm afraid. Ford is trading below $10 a share, which is amazing to me. But I just think it's really, really tough. Also, another problem is that automobiles right now are too expensive, taking market share from BMW, Mercedes, all the luxury names. And so the car companies used to be able to count on this on sales from this, but they're no longer able to. They're getting their market share taken away. Especially it's acute with BMW, which is a great car. Don't get me wrong. My brother has one. I actually drive a Honda, believe it or not. Great car. But the thing is, I just think they're going to lose market share in the luxury category. And the problem, and here's the thing with cars, it's really, really weird. Most people buy used cars because of the price. The average age to buy a car in this country, in the United States, is 54. And unfortunately, the way the demographics work is that the baby boomers, which were primarily the people that were buying most of the luxury cars, they are basically older than this now. The demographics don't portend well for sales of luxury cars. Now, the alternative to that, of course, is this whole change from gasoline to EV. That is a train that's not going to stop, and I think that Tesla is going to take market from other people, and that's just as easy. This is just as everything else. So let me see if I have any questions here. Love to answer some questions. Is there any indication that we're close to a follow-through day? No, unfortunately, we're not. Typically, it takes 4 days in a row for a follow-through day to happen. There's a bottom, and then it's got to make a new high. It basically has to. It can't undercut the low, and it's got to go up 3 days on increasing volume, and on the fourth day, if it confirms like that, then we're out of the woods. Unfortunately, right now that is not the case. The market is in correction. The market is down more than 10%. Should you freak out? Absolutely not. But remember, if you've set your stop losses and you went and they're sold out, don't re-enter the market yet. Wait for a bottom. This is why you set stop losses and you just leave them, because when the market behaves like this, you're tempted to come back in the market and do that. So that's why it's so important to set a stop loss in your stocks. Whatever you buy, you're going to set it basically at 7 to 8% below the price that you paid. And sometimes that can be incredibly painful, like it was for me this morning, because I had some stop losses on Microsoft. They violated the 159.50 level, and I was sold out. But again, I didn't really lose my principal. I lost some money, definitely in the short term, but I had made money. So on the previous days where I had bought it at 161 and then traded it up to 170. So, but that's why the stop losses are there. That's why they're so important, especially in a market like this, just trading erratically. There's a lot of fear right now. A lot of people want to be invested, but they don't know what to be invested in. And so right now, it's not necessarily the greatest time to be. It's better to wait until the market settles, and I suspect that's going to happen very shortly. Is there anything? Okay, let me see if 7 new messages. Let me see. Okay. Let me just see if I can get questions here. Hold on. Oops. Concern with Microsoft. New gaming consoles coming on Q4. Could be like absolutely. This is a big issue. Um, Gaming supplies about I think it's about 5% of Microsoft's business, and of course they're the class act of gaming. There's no question about it. All the parts are made in China, definitely. But I don't think that's necessarily a problem because I think that they can reroute the production to other countries, and I'm thinking that they're going to reroute some of the production to Thailand. That's my guess, but who knows? I was in, as I say, I was in Thailand in August of last year, and a lot of companies are like Foxconn that make a lot of these products. They are hedging their bets outside of China, and they really started that process about a year ago. So I think that there may be the sales on the Xbox might not be quite as good, but I don't think it's going to collapse by any stretch of the imagination. Thoughts on Uber? Wow. You know what? Should I? You know what? On the SQQQ, you're going to make some money probably today. I would be really, really careful because what happens when these things bounce is the SQQQ can disintegrate really quickly. But right now, let me take a look at that chart. But I was recommending SQQQ. I got out of it. I was in SQQQ. And for everybody that doesn't know what the SQQQ is, it's the leveraged ETF on the NASDAQ 100. And what it does is that it's what they call a bear fund, meaning that if the market is falling, this fund tends to improve. Now, let me just take a look at the chart on this. It's up today. Yeah, it's up. It's up almost $2. Very, very volatile. You know what? I think that. Oh, well, it was up. Yeah. Now, when I sold it, it was up to about 26. It looks like. The thing about it is that this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting way to play the market, and this is a much better way to play the market than to short individual stocks, because what this does is what this does is it does the shorting for you. Basically, what they do is that they take the index, the QQQ index, which is the NASDAQ 100. They then short all the stocks in that index, and they use leverage to do it. And that's why it's so volatile. But in a down market, you can definitely make some money. Now, the minute the market turns, you want to sell that. You want to sell the SQQQ because it is going to reverse direction, and it's going to reverse direction just as fast as it went on the upside because it's 3 times. One that you might want to look at to short the market, if you want to short the market safely, there is a ETF called the PSQ. It's not a leveraged bear fund, but it's bear. What it does is it shorts the NASDAQ 100, but it doesn't use leverage to do it. That's the difference between the SQQQ and the PSQ. The SQQQ, basically, when it's time to short the market, they take the entire index using money. They come into the market and they basically sell everything that on the index, and then they wait to buy them back at a lower price. And they use leverage to do that, the time leverage. So those strings on those can be wicked, but you can make some serious money. And that's just something I would like to put forward as an idea. I was in an ETF a few days ago called YANG, which is shorts the Chinese market. I think that the Chinese market may have bottomed, but let me just look at that. Let me look at that really quickly here. And that's also a bear fund. And these bear funds are relatively new in the market. They're very interesting because Before, in order to do this, you basically had to sell and go away. That's all you could do. Yeah. Okay, no, this is up too. 3x. Wow, it's up $3 today. I shouldn't have sold it. This is an interesting bear fund. This is a Chinese bear fund. I think the coronavirus is going to have a lot worse impact on the Chinese stock market than on the U.S. market, and that's one of the reasons why I think you might be take a look at this one. I don't necessarily make any. I don't own it now, but I owned it about five. I owned it at the beginning of the week. I owned it I bought it on Thursday of last week, Friday, and then I sold it on Monday. I don't own it currently. It's not in my portfolio, but there's some potential to pick up some quick cash here. Now, here's the thing about these bear ETFs, and you can definitely make money in the bear ETF when the market is really volatile like this and it's going down. But the minute the market turns, and you got to be on top of this, you want to get out of these because they can turn against you very, very quickly. But you can make a ton of money in them. And so, just a word to the wise. And the thing about it is that if you're in an IRA, can't trade options or you can't short stocks, then this is a great alternative because this allows you basically to short the market, even though you're in an IRA. So that's definitely something that's of real interest, real interest to people. Let's see. Oh, I got one viewer. Great. Here's the thing about the market as it stands now. We're in a correction mode. It is a Friday. Typically, Fridays can be more volatile because there's options that expire on Friday. So it's the kind of thing where, we're in a situation where it may be, it's probably not the optimum time to buy, but again, it's not, there are some opportunities in the market. That's the thing about the stock market. When there's change, when there's volatility like this, there are opportunities in the market. And I think that they're right now. Ouch. 180,000. Wow. I feel bad. You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the market right now. Remember, and this is why I really, really stress to everybody out there. If you have positions in the market, set the stop losses. And if you don't have stop losses in, set them now because you don't want to, the market always overshoots, but you don't want to have you don't want to lose. You want to cut your losses at about 8% down from where you paid for it. Now, if you're lower than that, I'd recommend at this point selling and then waiting until the market conditions turn around. Currently, we're not in a position like that. Currently, we're in a position where that's not the case. We are in a market where there is not. We don't quite know what what's happening now is that the market is trying to reprice for a lot of these unknowable effects. Now, you'll probably hear this term bandied about called the black swan. Well, by Nicholas, it's a famous book by Nicholas Taleb, and it's basically about how every now and again these things come along in human history that basically are black swans, and you cannot totally mitigate their effect. And that's That's really why you always have stop losses in, because you know things can come along. Now, I'm not saying that everything is going to deteriorate. Not at all. I'm very pro this market. I think we're having a situation where if you make the right moves now, it could really, really benefit you. Which problem do you trade with? You know what? I trade at TD Ameritrade with Thinkorswim, and uh, you know, if it costs any money. But the beauty, quite frankly, of dealing with TD Ameritrade is that you don't have to pay for it. It comes with the territory, and I think it's really a great trading program. I'll be just straight up on that. It's a great thing. Let me see if I can get something in here so to show you some of these charts. This might take a few minutes because I've got to install a little piece of software. So if you bear with me a second, um, I this may be a little bit boring here at the moment, but if you can think of some questions that I could answer, I will be right back here in a second. It's a Chrome extension. Store. All right. Okay. I'm going to search the store for Flip It. You get to see my Flip It. Yeah, Flip It. Okay. There we go. Is that right? Flip It. All right, Flip It. Hopefully this will work. I've installed this extension before and it worked great because what it does is it lets you see it. Okay, flip it, flip this. Flip rotate page on HTML elements. Flip it. Let's see if this works. All right, add the extension. See what happens here. Okay, it's added to Chrome. So let's see if this works now. Options. All right, I'm gonna auto flip it and go back here. Go over to the telestrator here, and hopefully we are going to flip it. Size, and then flip this. Well, not so much. Oops. We gotta flip this page. Flip horizontally. All right. So hopefully this will flip. I guess not. So, anyways, maybe next time. Maybe next time I will get that to work. I got it to work this morning. Let's see if I can flip this page. Reset. This page. Okay. Options. Auto flip. 30 degrees. Back here. Down, boy. Well, here we go. Wait a minute. Waiting. Well. Oh well. Oh well. It was an attempt. Hopefully, I'll get the technical bugs figured out. Why not trade crypto? Stock market this price jumps. I don't know. Here's the thing about crypto. I'm still really not. I'm not totally sold with crypto only because I worry about government intervention in the market. I think I don't think it's not really a store of value yet. If you're concerned about value, you might want to trade. I wouldn't even trade gold. Well, you might want to trade gold right now. Your connection is on. So please wait. Okay. You might want to trade gold right now, but other than that, I would say no. Basically, crypto is going to give you, it's going to give you certain characteristics, but it's not really going to. I don't think. I don't think it's. I think you can lose money in crypto, but you're going to make money too. So I'm just not in it. Stock market has large candle gaps, and the crypto market doesn't. Well, that's true. That's true because the crypto market is smaller. Basically, what you're seeing in the stock market is you're seeing the funds. You're seeing the result of programmatic trading. Certain levels are reached, and the algorithmic traders basically sell or buy, and that's what's really increasing the volatility in the market. But that's why you don't really want to be a day trader in the market. I'm not. I'm basically a swing trader, but the crypto market is smaller, and it's mostly individuals and not fun. So that in that way, it is different. It is different. So people do make money in crypto. Uber. Here's the thing about Uber. I think again, Uber has changed the nature of the gig economy. There's no question about it. And as a matter of fact, here in Dallas, a lot of the programmers are in Deep Elm. They just moved here, but Uber, I wouldn't be a buyer on Uber until the market confirms, until it moves, and until it changes direction. Right now, it's in a correction, and it's just not a good idea to buy in a correction. That's all. If not to add new money. Fair points. I do also trades. Absolutely. Thoughts on Uber? I love Uber long term. Right now, today, I would be waiting for the bottom. And what do I mean? Where is the bottom? Well, when we get a reversal, when we get a confirmed follow through day, and we're not there, because I do think it's changed a lot of things in the world. It has changed. It's changed a lot of things in the world, and it is definitely a force. So it's definitely the wave of the future. I like Uber better than I like Lyft. Uber does have a lot of foreign exposure, so there's going to be a situation there. But I think Uber and Tesla really are the sort of the future of transport. What about would you? So what about Forex, and why do you say stay away from it? Well, the reason I say stay away from Forex is because the Forex market, especially especially when there's a lot of volatility, it's highly it's basically large. It's basically foreign governments going in and out of it. There's a lot you cannot see and a lot you cannot control, especially when it's a market like this. Now, when the market calms down, then forex can be very good because you're going to look at the relative strength. But right now, this shock to the system, this coronavirus, it's it's not nationwide, it's worldwide. And so in this situation, you have a lot of governments as well as a lot of governments as well as big, large institutions that are intervening directly into the markets. And that's what you had with the Fed yesterday dropping the rates. There was intervention in the market, and you're also going to have interventions from other central banks, the ECB, for instance, in Europe. So the forex market, in those sense, you can't really. It's really not there. The signals aren't as it's not easy. It's not as easy to read the signals. That's just what I'm trying to say. I think it's really a tough in a worldwide pandemic situation like we may have. I don't think we do, but we may have. It's going to be very difficult to figure that out. Because right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I got in at $4 and I'm freaking out. Ouch. Wow. Here's the thing. Right now, everybody in the market is panicking. Okay. Well, not everyone. Warren Buffett's not panicking. This is how Warren Buffett gets rich. If you really want to see how somebody like Warren Buffett gets rich, he built up his cash hoard over the last few months, and now he is going to come in and he's going to buy some great companies at a great price. He's probably going to be buying more Apple. He might buy more. He might buy Microsoft. It's not currently one of his bigger holdings. He's in cash now. Hopefully, some people out there are in cash and they have some cash on the side available. I think that, contrary to what the market is saying, I think there's some deals out there, and I think there's specifically deals. Of course, I've been totally wrong about this. In some ways, I was buying into Microsoft. It violated. I got stopped out of it. I had my stops at 8%. It hit 8%. I was sold out this morning. I still think it's a good stock. I mean, I'm sorry. I still think it's a good stock, and I think it's just because of the market. I also think, and I keep reiterating it, I think that Tesla at these levels is one of the buys of the century, because I think that I started buying Tesla right when they turned the corner, right when they basically announced their earnings, and they have positive earnings, and the world is going to change, and regardless of what what a lot of people want to think. I mean, oil is, and it's falling hard, and that's because the world's going to change, and it's going to change big. I know. I got in at $4, and now it's wow, awesome. Well, that's panic buying. That's okay. For the person that got into INO at $4, awesome. I have to commend you. Here's what you do. Okay, this is a classic blow off top. It's what they call a blow off top. Here's the thing you can do to make money right now. Take your stop loss and move it up, and move it up, and move it up, and move it up. And then when it corrects, and it will, just like Tesla did at 968, it will come down and you'll be sold out and you'll make some serious money. So just think about that. Set the stop loss up at 1382. Your stop loss should be, let me just get you a number. For the person in INO, let's see, you're at 13. Okay, you're at 13 82 times 0.92. Set your stop loss at 1271. And you probably will be sold out, but you'll make some serious profit. And then when it comes back down and it reverses, buy in again. You can ride the pony quite a few times. I think that's awesome. When do you get into the markets? Okay, let's see. Good tip. Thanks. Oh, thank you. I'm new to this one. Okay. No, you did get totally lucky. And hey, man, this is what happens. Last month on Tesla, I made over $25,000. Actually, a lot more. Actually, more than that. Because there was buying, and then when it came down, I'm selling. So try to sell with your stop loss. If you can do that, you can really you can do some you do some cool things. So in the INO trade that you bought at $4, shout out to you because that's awesome. Now take a stop loss, put it in, and then move it up, and then when it fails, when it comes back down, it'll sell you out, and then wait for it to come back down. You know, if the conditions are right and it moves back up, you buy it on the way up. You always buy on the way up, and then you sell when you get a collapse, and that's how you do it with stop loss. So I missed out, so it's sold in the market. Well, you know what? I did too. I went into all cash basically about 8 days ago, and I'm glad I did it because, quite frankly, I had some positions that have lost money that would have lost more money had I not had stop losses on and been sold out. Now, I've come back in the market. I came back a little bit too early in Microsoft. I've been recommending that. I got stopped out today. I think it's I got stopped out at 159. It may go lower to that. The pivot point for Microsoft, I know it by heart, is 142, and I was buying there as well. This is in the pivot point happened about, I would say it's been about 3 months ago that it pivoted to that level. So, anyways, so you believe in mine's like, yes, I do actually. You know what? It's funny when the market freaks out. This is when I've actually made some of my biggest money. Is when you get the slam, it'll go down in a V, and then there'll be a relief rally, and you can that relief rally, you can pick up some serious coin. You know, it's just you've got to be very disciplined on your selling, on keeping your stop losses, because sometimes you're in too early, and I definitely make that mistake all the time. But when you're right and you can push that stop loss up, and you make the big money, then I think it's pretty awesome. What do you think of gold and silver? Here's the thing. Normally, gold and oil trade similarly. Oil is going way down. Brent crude, West Texas Intermediate, which is the main one you want to look at for the U.S. based. Gold trades along. The way I like to play gold is not with buying gold. It's with buying the gold miners, and you might want to look at something called KL, Kirkland Lakes, because KL. Let me see. Let me see what the chart looks like on KL. I haven't owned it in a few months. But let's see. Yeah, no, KL is down today. So what do I think about gold and silver? You know what? I don't think it's a good place to hide right now. I think you could definitely lose some money. That's amazing. KL is down. It has 4%. And it's the best of the best. That is amazing. That is amazing. Never. Okay. How do you say? Hey, he says Tesla is good to buy Tesla right now. I've Mercer invested before and should. Yeah, you know what? It may drop to, well, you're saying 690. Yeah, I think it may. I think it might drop to 690. I think it may drop to 680. But I think in the long term, it's the future of the automobile industry, probably one of the biggest industries ever in the world. So calling it at the bottom, I think, is very difficult. I bought it today at 702. I bought 100 shares. I went in with 100 shares this morning. Now it's dropped below that, but I am still a bull on Tesla. I really am. The call that I have sold. I have a call that I've sold on it. It's a 765 call, March 20th. It hasn't dropped all that much. I mean, it's only down a little bit. So, are you the most experienced on the trail? Well, I am one of the most experienced. There are some other people on the trading floor, like Ali, that's very good, and we have some others, Wayne, that are very good. I'm just pretty much one of the one of the first guys that got here, and we all kind of trade together here in Dallas. And I'm sort of the one that just tried to kind of on a lark just started on TikTok, and I found that there was a lot of people that were out there that really interested. So that's sort of how it came about. Oh, nice buy, by the way. Just bought Microsoft at 159.90. You know what? You're going to probably do well if you bought it. I wish I had been you. Okay, this is good. This is a good move. I think you're going to see Microsoft pop back up to about 165. I think within a week, because there's just panic selling out there. People are dumping Microsoft, which is one of the fundamentally best stocks right now on the market. People are freaking out. This coronavirus thing, they think everyone's going to die. It's going to be, it's going to be like zombie apocalypse, And I'm not making light of the fact that it's a serious thing. I mean, we've got a lot of people that are really going to suffer here. But, I don't think it's a zombie apocalypse. I don't think it is a zombie apocalypse. And so sometimes when you have these sell-offs like this, these are the biggest opportunities out there. Now, I am not saying that you want to take your college fund and put it in. right now. But if you have some money, you might want to start looking at the really strong names: Disney, Microsoft, even Tesla. I think you might want to look at them because I think they're on sale. As soon as it seems bigger than it is. Yeah, I agree. See, you were so right. By the way, viral video Z's, you are correct about this. Okay, every year, millions of people throughout the world die of the flu. Now, I hate to say that because it's a terrible thing, but you know what? There are going to be people that die, but most of the people that are going to die, and it's a bad way to say it, are going to be older people, and because they have weakened immune systems. And yes, there's going to be some problems. The biggest reason the smart market is reacting this way is because people that are afraid of contagion are not going to be going into the malls. They're not going to be gathering publicly. But you know what? We have the internet now. Here I am speaking to everybody, and you're not going to get the coronavirus from me because I'm not in the same room with you. So things like Zoom video. This is why Microsoft. This is why Microsoft. This is why companies like this. This is why they're going to win, because even in this situation, they're going to be. Oh, I think there's an overreaction. I really do. I think there's overreaction in the market. When there's an overreaction, many times are the greatest times to buy. Now, um, I'm backing this up with my own money. I bought Tesla today at 702. I bought, several days ago, I bought Microsoft. Now I was stopped out at 159. It went a little bit further down, a little bit further, but I'm probably a buyer in Microsoft again. Now I do have a lot of cash because I basically sold out a week ago and I started buying in. But you know what? Now is the time. You only want to buy the very best of the best. You don't want to buy anything right now that you don't think has just stellar prospects. The only exception, I think, to this are, if you want to move against the market, if you want to short the market right now, the best way to short the market is to buy the bear ETFs. And there are several that I recommend. I've made money on: SQQQ, PSQ, and one that shorts the Chinese market, the YANG. So those are ones, but you don't want to hold them very long. How often does the best of the best stocks change? Well, you know what? It changes. I think it changes basically every quarter as to what the best have redefined our world. One of those is Apple. I mean, I'm coming to you on an Apple iPhone right now. They have changed our world. Microsoft has changed our world. I believe Tesla will change our world. Some of the other companies like NVIDIA with AI may change our world. These are stocks that are fundamentally different, and they're the ones that you want to own. Now, are there good companies that aren't in these areas? Absolutely. I mean, believe it or not, Campbell Soup is going up because everybody is buying soup right now. But long term, I don't see a doubling or tripling of the amount of soup that we're coming. What are your thoughts on Roku right now. I wanted to. You know what? Roku. I love Roku. I love Roku because it is a platform for other people that are getting into streaming. Streaming is just beginning. Streaming is Netflix, $300 a share. That's pretty high. Roku, the advantage of Roku is Roku is going to be streaming for everybody, and I think Roku at 102 is very, very good. Let me just take a look at the chart really quick. Here's the thing. I always look at the charts before I say. I can't remember. Let's see what the chart says. Now, this is going to appear weird on the screen in the back of me. 100. You know what? And the reason I wouldn't buy it is very simple. It has violated what they call the 50-day moving average. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I want to buy a stock